After the break, Vision into Reality, the Belt and Road Special. So please stay with us. Laos, simply beautiful. 2018 marks the 5th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative proposed by Chinese President Xi Jinping. The BRI is a proposal for economic cooperation. It focuses on connectivity and aims at achieving win-win outcome, hoping to create more opportunities for global economic growth and shared prosperity of all countries. To celebrate the Belt and Road Initiative, which has yielded fruitful results during the past 5 years, the National Television of Laos from Lao PDR, the People's Television of PTV from the Philippines, and the China Global Television Network, or CGTN, from China, as member of Belt and Road News Alliance, or BRNA, jointly co-produce special programs which talks about the concrete of the initiative and win-win cooperation on Vision into Reality, the Belt and Road Special.
Welcome back. We talk about the spices that has been spreading around along the ancient Silk Road. We also see these kinds of exchanges throughout history that actually brought all of us different cooking styles. The Philippines has interactions with various countries, with America, with Spain, with China, with many ASEAN countries as well. So you see the cooking style varies. So is China, so is the Laos. So, Professor, what about the legacy of the Belt and Road Initiative?
When I'm talking about projects of 40 years long, think of a history. Silk Road lasts for centuries. And people tend to debate about the role of market and the government. When you have to build something very long, sometimes you have to think the role of government is very important because after all, we are talking about the basic infrastructure. When you have infrastructure, people tend to come together, so you have the supply side and the demand side.
Right.
And we can enjoy food, have a great session of what I would say, eat, drink, and be merry. And from there on, we continue to move forward. So when I look at the projects we are doing, the things you have been promoting, the 3Bs, and what we are doing here in China, I do see a lot of commonalities.
You know, we have always been wondering, how come our ancestors, all of ours, had the ambition and the vision and the guts to be able to walk along the ancient Silk Road despite of the difficult conditions and the lack of tools of their times. But they have made it possible. And now we, it seems, have been coming together with a vision and also with a solution to many of the problems we are facing right now. We hope working together could really get us there together.
My grandfather was from Fujian province. Took the old Silk Road to the Philippines, and I'm taking the BRI back here in China.
Exactly. What a beautiful coincidence.
Yes.
But I guess as we Asians all believe, we are destined. And this is our fate, in a way. Talking about fate, I have to present to all our audience and our friends something from China, Zither music. Okay? So that is something very Chinese, 21 to 25 strings plugged instruments coming from ancient China, a very different kinds of sound. And the music presented by two beautiful ladies coming from China is called the Song from the Tian Shan Mountain. Tian Shan, as you may know, is the place where the ancient Silk Road was actually built upon. So it is a gate between China and many other cultures along the ancient Silk Road. I'm sure in that piece of music, we could really read out some history. So let's listen in. almost tell the horses are running through the mountains and
Yes.
therefore getting together with the loved ones. You could tell from the rhythm in a way.
Amazing talent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That actually brings us back to the original term I was talking about, connectivity or interconnectivity. Throughout the history, China has been in interconnectivity with other parts of the world. That in turn has made our culture very rich. And it's during the 21st century, that theme should come back to China, and China to the rest of the world. We continue to have that interconnectivity.
Whether it is the flowers or the vegetables, the music, the cooking styles, the spices, everything we have today is already a product of exchanges of the ancient times. Actually, we're very proud of this because our own cultures all present a part of that. Having said that, though, Professor Fu, I have to ask you about that because there are a lot of questions and suspicions about, China's ambition. There are suspicions about whether President Duterte's vision will come true. There is suspicion whether the Laos will be able to so-called shoulder the debts. Even the Laos have been doing very good feasibility studies about the next 40 years to come. How do you, as someone who's been working on South-South cooperation over the years, look at those questions?
Well, there is a difference between what should be done or what is real here. I guess the ultimate result is through interaction with the people. We come together to talk. If we build infrastructure, hopefully next round of money will come from the private sector, and to link people as all part and parcel of the global value chain. If it's everything is government made, probably it's not correct. And that's the lesson we also learned here in China. We have been moving from a highly centralized system to a more market-oriented system, and we have been part of the process of globalization. In that process, we have moved from an economy that was only $156 per capita 40 years ago, now to an economy where we have achieved roughly 9,000 US dollars. It's a process. In the process, we made a lot of mistakes, and we also made great achievements.
But, Mr. Minister,
Yes.
we all know these days protectionism is on the rise. Unilateralism has become the slogan of some countries. So, yet BRI is about linking everybody together. It's exactly against unilateralism. So can things be able to thrive in this direction?
I believe that the Philippines, as a member of ASEAN, should always have the ASEAN centrality in its mind. And when you talk about ASEAN centrality, it's about coexisting peacefully with each other, be that in some people-to-people exchanges, be that on military or economic. And we can no longer thrive as a nation if we do not deal with the ASEAN and if we do not deal with a bigger market like China. So it is very imperative for the Philippines to work together with ASEAN, and also important for us to grab the opportunity to join the Belt and Road Initiative. And I would like to subscribe to what the professor said. Action speaks louder than words. But at the end of the day, it's also about sincerity. And I believe that the Chinese government have shown the sincerity that we are waiting or waited for through all of the projects, through all of the infrastructure programs that we are now enjoying in the Philippines, courtesy of China.
Right. But on the other hand, for example, Laos, as a developing country, it is very important where you allocate your money. So you talk about the big vision for these projects related to Belt and Road, but people might wonder, is it the right place to put the money? And as a result of this, how long do you have to wait in order to make sure that the economy will take off?
You think because the status of Laos is to transform the country from landlocked country to landlinked country. So that we would like to have the transport cost lower than we have today.
Yes.
So according to the feasibility study, I told you about the financial internal rate of return. But the economic internal rate of return is very high, 25%, almost 25%. Yeah, the economic internal rate of return. So that means the railway, China Railway, will contribute very much for the economy of the country. We allocate not much when we say 30% of the total cost, but the equity is only 40%. The total amount of the investment for the railway is just only 480 billion US dollar. It's not much. It's not much. And you know the return can generate by the transport of the railway themselves, by the service themselves. You know, therefore the allocation is fair. Is good for our development.
I see a lot of confidence in you.